this chapter, you'll set up several different hosting and development environments for building your WordPress websites. This video will introduce you to all the types of hosting and development systems, including shared hosting, dedicated servers and cloud hosting, managed WordPress hosting, and local development environments. By the end of this video, you'll know about all these hosting systems, the benefits and drawbacks of each, as well as several different ways of building WordPress locally without an internet connection. Let's get started. Shared hosting is an inexpensive way to get started with website hosting. Its advantage is in price, but it has some drawbacks because other sites are using the same server space, and all the sites on the server are sharing resources. Shared hosting means that if one site starts using all the available memory, storage space, or bandwidth, the other sites on the same server can be put at risk of slowing down, or at worst, going down for a period of time. Modern hosting companies have protocols in place like site monitoring, resource limit warnings, and other processes in place to prevent sites from going down, so shared hosting programs are a good place to start to keep a development environment that will not see much traffic, or to keep small sites with little resource usage. As a site grows in popularity, traffic, and file size, it may be smart to move to another type of hosting account, and we'll get into migrating WordPress websites to different hosts later in this course. Some examples of popular and tested shared hosting environments are Rob Percival's own Eco Web Hosting, SiteGround's WordPress-specific shared hosting programs. If you're getting started, these companies can offer you a space to build multiple websites and take them live for a very small investment. Most of the hosting companies offer an upgrade from shared hosting, splitting off the server space into private hosting areas called dedicated or private servers. There's a middle ground which is very effective at separating websites from each other, but doesn't have to cost as much as full private servers, called a VPS or virtual private server. VPS just means that the hosting company has partitioned the hardware and disk space that holds the website hosting areas into separate spaces, so that each hosting space can't affect the others on the same master server. To the end user who's purchasing the hosting, there's effectively no difference between a dedicated server and a virtual private server. The end result is the same. Cloud hosting takes this idea one step further, enabling the server to stretch and grow instead of losing speed or going down in the event of a traffic spike or a need for expansion. Cloud hosting is a good way to provide hosting for a group of clients in one place as a website designer. In my business, I use SiteGround's cloud hosting program so I can host and take care of all of my clients' websites in one place, give them access to the server for just their own site if they need it, a control panel, and pay one inexpensive price for the package. It lets me charge a monthly or yearly fee for website hosting and maintenance without having to work with a lot of different hosts that my clients have chosen. My hosting and website maintenance and care plans are what let me achieve a level of recurring income in my business, and I'd recommend you do the same thing. In the next video, we'll be setting up a free student sandbox hosting account at SiteGround, specially made for WP Dev Course students. At the students.wpdevcourse.com website, down at the SiteGround link, you'll see that they're offering a special deal for Greg Davis students, 3 months of free hosting so that you can set up sites and work on them in the SiteGround environment. Another level up for WordPress hosting is the idea of managed WordPress hosting. Several hosting companies have seen the popularity of WordPress grow and are feeling a need for designers and developers. Managed WordPress hosting is a server setup that has additional thought put into the server architecture and layers of programs in the server setup for site speed, reliability, ease of use, and other WordPress-specific needs. Managed hosting programs usually have a caching layer to drastically speed up the loading of WordPress websites, improving the experience for the end user. Managed WordPress hosting companies also optimize the hardware and server programs for the way WordPress works in every way they can. This is a little more expensive to use, but there are a lot of advantages. I use Flywheel WordPress hosting for my own sites and client sites who I expect to have more traffic, where speed is important. Like SiteGround, Flywheel is offering WP Dev Course students a special deal on a free development environment for working on sites. In the students.wpdevcourse.com resources page, again, the link to Flywheel will open up a free 60-day trial where you can develop a site on the Flywheel platform, specially for WP Dev Course students. We'll be setting that up in this chapter. Cloudways is an interesting company as well, and I use them for spinning up sites quickly for development and very inexpensive hosting. They might be considered a hybrid between cloud hosting and managed hosting, because you can easily install WordPress in a very fast, optimized environment. But as far as security and a firewall for hacking attempts and traffic filtration, it's more of a manual experience. I've found that I have to be diligent with sites hosted at Cloudways because they are more exposed to robot or bot traffic, which can degrade performance. The fully managed hosting companies provide a firewall between you and these potential attacks. You can do your own research to find which hosting company fits your vision for your business online, and reviewsignal.com has a lot of independent reviews and comparisons. There's a WordPress hosting benchmarks test article that they've written for a few years in a row, and that's where I've narrowed my choices and improved my clients' site's performance. Support and ease of use for your particular business are other important considerations, so review sites like this one are an important part of choosing a website hosting company. The resource pages at wpdevcourse.com and here in this course have special student discounts and updated recommendations based on my experience, so be sure and check those out. We took a tour in the last chapter of MAMP, available at mamp.info, and how you can use it to set up a local development environment on your own computer. There are some other options as well that make it easy to set up WordPress and play with it locally, or without having to be connected to the internet. Each one of these options builds a server on your local computer, just like MAMP, and they're all pretty easy to use. A MAMP alternative is called XAMPP, X-A-M-P-P, and it works exactly the same way as MAMP, but it was originally designed for Windows. While MAMP was originally for the Mac platform, it now supports both, and the same is true of XAMPP. It's available here at apachefriends.org. Desktop Server is a program that can set up local environments too, and it's available at serverpress.com. Another option is called Instant WordPress, designed to set up WordPress local environments exclusively, and available at instantwp.com. I'll be teaching how to install MAMP for a local environment, and we'll also be signing up for a free Flywheel account and a free SiteGround account to create the sites we'll be building in this course. In this video, we explored hosting options and development environments, from shared hosting to cloud hosting and managed WordPress hosting. There are options for every purpose in your business. We also looked at options for easily setting up local development environments for staging, building sites locally without having to be connected to the internet, and playing with WordPress for learning. In the next few videos, you'll set up your own systems at many of these hosting environments, as well as set up your own local development environment. Here we go.